So it is 5 past now. So I think we can start our lesson. Welcome all of you to today's lesson, Beginner's Crochet Lesson 6. Um, this is Fahmina, your host from Fahmina's Creation. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, Assalam Nureen. Thank you for joining me. So this is what we are going to make today. Crochet granny square. It's called a starburst granny square. We'll try and make this today. You can choose to use lots of different colors, or you can just use a single color. It's up to you. I hope you'll all enjoy making this. So let's start then. We'll start our lesson by doing a slip knot like we always do to begin any project, right? I'm just going to fix my camera a bit. Okay. So we'll start by crocheting slip knot first of all. To create a slip knot, we are going to put the short end of your yarn strand in your right hand side, and in the left hand side, with the left hand side, just hold your yarn like this, okay, and then the left hand index finger, we are going to wrap this end of our yarn twice. So this is the first time, this is the second time. Okay, so I've done it twice now. Then the back loop, this is the back loop and this is the front loop. So we are going to put this back loop in front of the front loop. Now this has become the new front loop and this is the back loop. So we are going to put this in front of the front loop again one more time. Now this is the new back loop, front loop, this is the back loop. So I'm just going to pull this back loop up, all the way up, and took my index finger out of the loop and just keep pulling. And while I'm pulling this side with my right hand side, the slip knot, I'm also pulling both strands, short and long strands, with my left hand and tightening it. So this is my slip knot. Now I'm going to do some chains. Yes, these are two base steps that we follow for all the crochet projects. We do slip knot and then we crochet chain spaces. Okay, so I'm just adjusting my slip knot so that it be almost equal the size of my crochet hook, but it can also move. I can also move it comfortably around the crochet hook. Okay, so now I'm going to crochet some chain spaces. To create the chain spaces, wrap the yarn around your crochet hook just once and pull through. So this is your first chain space. wrap the yarn around your crochet hook again and pull through. Second chain space, wrap the yarn around the crochet hook and pull through. Third, and let's do it one more time. Wrap the yarn around your crochet hook and pull through. So this is your 4 chain spaces. Okay, that's all we need. So I'm just going to wait for a minute to check where if everybody has managed to do their slip stitch, slip knot and 4 chain spaces, and then we'll start our row 1. Okay. Okay, I can see some of the sisters has done that. Thank you, Noreen. Okay, so now we are just going to attach this 4th chain space with the first one. So basically we are going to create a small round shape. To do that, just going to attach the first chain with the very last chain, 4th chain space. Okay. So let's just attach. This is the loop I have in my crochet hook, and I'm going to attach, do a slip stitch with the first chain space here. Okay. So wrap the yarn around the crochet hook and pull through. So this is a slip stitch. Now I have to crochet 3 chain spaces. So wrap the yarn around and pull through. This is my first chain space. Wrap the yarn around and pull through. Second chain space, wrap the yarn around and pull through. Third chain space. Okay, we've got 3 chain spaces. Now these 3 chain spaces, we know we start our new row with chain spaces, and these 3 chain spaces is equal to equal the size of double crochet. So this is what we are going to do now. We are going to crochet double crochet, 15 double crochet to be exact, around this round shapes that was created by the 4 chain spaces. Okay. So next, let's do it then, and we are doing all our first row around this circle. Okay. So to create a double crochet, wrap your yarn around the crochet hook once and go to that tiny little dot here that you can see. Put your crochet hook through, wrap the yarn around the crochet hook again and pull up a loop. So there's 3 loops in your crochet hook. Wrap the yarn around again, pull through first 2, wrap the yarn around the crochet hook and pull through the last 2. So this is my double crochet. I'm going to repeat it for 14 more times. So wrap the yarn around, go to that circle, wrap the yarn around and pull up a loop. Wrap the yarn around, pull through first 2, wrap the yarn around and pull through last 2. So that's my second double crochet. Actually, I will count it as third because these first 3 chain spaces that I have done, I'm considering this as a double crochet too. So together we have to have 16 double crochet. 3 chain space if we count 3 chain spaces. Okay, so just go ahead and create total 15 double crochet, and 3 chain spaces already there. Yes, so this is my third fourth, fifth. So let me just count and check if I have done all the double crochet or not. So there should be 16 together if you include these 3 chain spaces. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 and 16 double crochet all together. Okay, so I've done 16 double crochet. I'm just going to wait for the rest of you to see if you have all. I'm just going to give it few minutes and then I'll start doing next row, but I don't want to go too fast. I just want to make sure that all of you have done all your 16 double crochet and you are all with me in the same page. Okay, let's see how many of you have finished it. Looks like most of you has done it successfully. Okay, thank you for letting me know, all of you. So now I'm just going to attach the this corner with the third chain of the first 3 chain spaces. Okay, so this is my first chain, right? This is the first chain, second chain, and this is the third chain space. So I'm just going to put my crochet hook through that third chain space, wrap the yarn around and do a slip stitch. This is my first row. Okay, now I'm just going to move to row 2. To start row 2, I'll start by doing 3 chain spaces again. So wrap the yarn around your crochet hook and pull through. Wrap the yarn around your crochet hook and pull through. Wrap the yarn around your crochet hook and pull through. So that's 3 chain spaces. Okay, now in this same chain here, I'm going to crochet puff stitch. I'll show you how to do the puff stitch. To create a puff stitch, this is how it should look like in your finished project. This is called a puff stitch. Looks like a bit puffed, isn't it? Fluffy. So this is how it's called a puffed stitch. So let's go to the same chain space and here start crocheting a puffed stitch. To do a puff stitch, you have to wrap your yarn around the crochet hook and go to this chain space here, put your crochet hook through, wrap the yarn around again and pull up a loop, and try to adjust it and pull it so that it be equal the size of these 3 chain spaces. Okay, so we just have to repeat these steps for 3 times total, and we have already done one, so we are going to repeat these steps 2 more times. Okay, we are not going to wrap around and pull do the steps like we do with double crochet or treble crochet. We are just keeping our all the loops in our crochet hook. So wrap the yarn around again your crochet hook, go to that same chain space, wrap the yarn around and pull up a loop. Just have to repeat these steps for one more time. Wrap the yarn around, go to that same chain space, wrap your yarn around and pull through. So I've got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 loops in my crochet hook, and this is how many loops I need in my crochet hook to finish off this puff stitch. So I'm going to wrap the yarn around the crochet hook again and pull through all 5 loops, and then wrap the yarn around again and do a chain 1 space. So this is your first puff stitch. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple more time how to create this puff stitch, and by the end of this row I'm sure you'll be an expert of making a puff stitch. So we'll go to the next chain. We have to make a total of 18 puff stitch, one in each chain space, one is in on top of each double crochet that we created in our previous row. So let's start then. Wrap your yarn around the crochet hook, go to the next chain space, wrap the yarn around, pull up a loop and make it equal the size of your previous puff stitch. Just make it like this, yeah, pull it to make it long. Now wrap the yarn around again, go to the same chain space and pull up another loop. Okay, we have done it twice, we have to do it one more time. Salam Rimalali, thank you for joining me. This is our crochet lesson going on. Today we are learning to make this this gorgeous starburst granny square. I hope you will enjoy watching. Okay, so I'm going to wrap the end around my crochet hook one last time and go to the same chain space, wrap the yarn around and pull up a loop. So total I've got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 loops. Okay, that means it's time to finish off this puff stitch. Wrap the yarn around and pull through all the loops, then chain 1 to finish off your puff stitch. So this is our second puff stitch. Can you see how puffed it looks? This looks so fluffy comparing to the double crochet from our previous row. This is why it's called puff stitch. So I'm going to repeat this for a total of 16 times. I've already done twice, so I have to do 14 more puff stitch, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to explain it to you for a couple more time. Okay, so let's move to the next chain space now. Okay, and do our third puff stitch. So wrap the yarn around your crochet hook, go to the next chain space, wrap the yarn around and pull up a loop. Wrap the yarn around, go to the same chain space, pull up a loop. We've repeated these steps twice and we've got 5 loops in our crochet hook. We need 7 loops in our crochet hook, right? So wrap the yarn around, go to the same chain space and pull up a loop. So that's 7. Um, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 loops in your crochet hook. So wrap the yarn around and go through all the 7 loops and then chain 1, third puff stitch down. So just go ahead and crochet 16, total 16 puff stitch for this row. So this is my 4th puff stitch. Fifth puff stitch. Sixth puff stitch, chain 1. I'm going to repeat these steps again. I'm going to tell you out loud these steps again, just in case. So I'm going to go to the next chain space and do a puff stitch. For that, I'm going to wrap the yarn around my crochet hook, go to the next chain space, wrap the yarn around and pull up a loop. These 3 loops in my crochet hook. I have to repeat these steps for 2 more times. Wrap the yarn around, go to the same chain space, wrap the yarn around and pull up a loop. So I've got 5 loops in my crochet hook. So I have to repeat these steps again. Wrap the yarn around, go to the same chain space, wrap the yarn around and pull up a loop. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wrap the yarn around and pull through all 7 loops and chain 1. Now just have to go do my last 3 puff stitches. So wrap the yarn around, go to the next chain space, wrap the yarn around and pull up a loop. 3 loops in my crochet hook, wrap the yarn around, go to the same chain space and pull up a loop. So that's 5 loops in my crochet hook, wrap the yarn around, go to the same chain space and pull up a loop. So I've got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 loops in my crochet hook. Wrap the yarn around and pull through all 7 loops and chain 1. So that's my puff stitch done. I have to do 2 more puff stitch because I'm crocheting 16 puff stitch for this row. So wrap the yarn around, go to the next chain space, wrap the yarn around and pull up a loop. 3 loops in my crochet hook, wrap the yarn around, go to the same chain space and pull up a loop. So I've got 5 loops in my crochet hook, wrap the yarn around, go to the same chain space and pull up a loop. So that's 7 loops. Assalam Khadija Apu, thank you for joining me. How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. This is my crochet lesson going on and we are making the Starburst granny square. So we have come to the end of this stitch. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 7 puff stitch, 7 loops in my crochet hook. So I wrap the yarn around and going to pull it through all 7 loops and then chain 1 to finish off. Okay, now wrap the yarn around again my crochet hook, go to the next chain space, wrap the yarn around and pull up. Wrap the yarn around, go to the same chain space and pull up another loop. Wrap the yarn around, same chain space and pull up a loop. So I've got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Wrap the yarn around and pull through all 7 loops and then chain 1. Okay, so I've come to the end of this row. We've got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. So I just have to crochet 1 more puff stitch. So I'm going to wrap the yarn around my crochet hook, go to the next chain space and pull up a loop. Wrap the yarn around again, go to the same chain space and pull up another loop. Wrap the yarn around, go to the same chain space and pull up another loop. So I've got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 loops in my crochet hook. Wrap the yarn around and pull it through all the way through all 7 loops and then chain 1 to finish up. So I've done 16 of this puff stitch and it's time to join both the corners. To join the corners I'm going to go to the third chain from the first 3 chain spaces of this row. So this is 1 2 and this is the third chain space. Okay, so I'm going to go to that third chain space, wrap the yarn around and pull through. So this is my slip stitch to secure the work. Then do a chain 1 to secure my work because I'm going to change the color here. You can just go ahead and use this same color, or you can change the color to give it this vibrant colorful look. It's up to you. I think I'm going to change the color, so I just did the chain 1 and now I'm going to cut the yarn and add new color. This time I'm going to use this pale green color. I think it will go nice with the pink color that I have used in the previous 2 rows. Yeah, so to attach this new color, you can just go ahead and find any of the space, the chain 1 space from our puff stitch row. So I just have to find out that. Thank you, Sister Khadija. Thank you for liking my work. I appreciate. So I just have to go to any of the chain one space, the space that was created by the chain one from previous row. So just going to put my crochet hook through that, and then just going to wrap the end around and just pull up this. Okay, now I'm just going to tie it with my existing project. So there it is. I have attached the new color, new yarn strand. I'm just going to put my crochet hook through the same chain space, and pull up a loop. Okay, now start the new row with chain 3. So that's chain 1, chain 2, and chain 3. Okay, now start the this row. We are going to crochet this cluster stitch. Previous row we have done puff stitch. This row we are going to crochet cluster stitch. To create your cluster stitch, wrap the yarn around your crochet hook. Okay, go to that same chain space where we have joined our work and did the 3 chain space. Go to that same space, put your crochet hook through, wrap the yarn around and pull up a loop. Okay, now wrap the yarn around again and pull through only first 2 loops. Okay, we've got 2 loops remaining in your crochet hook, so wrap the yarn around, go to that same chain space and pull up another loop. Wrap the yarn around and pull through first 2 loops. So got 3 loops in your crochet hook, wrap the yarn around, go to that same chain space, pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through first 2 again. So I've got 4 loops in my crochet hook, wrap the yarn around, go to that same chain space and pull up another loop, wrap the yarn around and pull through first 2 only. So I've got 5 loops in my crochet hook. Wrap the yarn around and pull through all 5 loops. And then chain 1. So this is your first cluster stitch. Done 4 double crochet cluster. Okay, so now I just have to go ahead and create 16 of this cluster stitch throughout this row, and we'll only do our cluster stitch in between, this in between the chain space in between the puff stitch from previous row. Okay, we just have to go and find this space, and there we are going to crochet our our cluster stitch. Okay, so let's start then. I'm going to go and make the next cluster stitch here, crochet the next cluster stitch here. So I'm going to wrap the yarn around the crochet hook, go to that same next chain space and pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around and pull through first 2 loops. So I've got 2 loops in my crochet hook, wrap the yarn around, go to that same chain space again and pull up another loop, wrap the yarn around and pull through first 2 only. I've got 3 loops in my crochet hook, so I just have to repeat it 2 more times. Wrap the yarn around, go to that same chain space and pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around and pull through first 2. So I've got 4 loops in my crochet hook. Wrap the yarn around, go to that same chain space and pull up another loop, wrap the yarn around and pull through first 2. I've got 5 loops in my crochet hook, wrap the yarn around and pull through all 5 loops, and then chain 1. So let's move to the next space and repeat these steps again. So wrap the yarn around, go to that next chain space, pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through fast 2 only. Wrap the yarn around the crochet hook again, go to that same chain space and pull up another loop. Wrap the yarn around and pull through only fast 2 loops. So I've got 3 loops in my crochet hook. Wrap the yarn around, go to that same chain space and pull up another loop. Wrap the yarn around and pull through only fast 2. So I've got 4 loops in my crochet hook. Wrap the yarn around, go to that same chain space and pull up another loop. Wrap the yarn around and pull through fast 2. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 loops in my crochet hook. Wrap the yarn around and pull through all 5 loops. And then chain 1. That's my third cluster done. So I have to do it 16 times total. So I'll move to the next stitch now. Here next space, here I have to crochet cluster again. So wrap the yarn around your crochet hook, go to that next chain space and pull up a loop. Wrap the yarn around and pull through only fast 2 loops. Wrap the yarn around, go to that next chain space, pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through fast 2. I've got 3 loops in my crochet hook. Wrap the yarn around, go to same chain space and pull up a loop. Wrap the yarn around and pull through fast 2 only. Wrap the yarn around, go to that same chain space, pull up a loop, then wrap the yarn around and pull through only fast 2. So I've got 5 loops in my crochet hook. That means it's time to finish off this row. So wrap the yarn around and pull through all 5 loops and then chain 1. So that's my 4th cluster done. Just go again and again until you reach to the end of this row, and in total you have 16 of these clusters. So this is my 7th cluster. I'm going to crochet my 8th cluster. This is my 9th cluster. This is my 10th cluster. 11th cluster. That means I have to create 5 more cluster stitch to finish off this row. Okay. Excuse me. This is my 14th cluster. 2 more to go to finish off this row. So in total I've got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16. I've already got 16 cluster for this row. That means it's time to attach both end together. Yes, so to do that, just going to do a slip stitch with the third chain space from our first 3 chain spaces. That is the third one. So just going to do a slip stitch there. Okay, and then chain 1 to secure your work. So this is how your project should look like by the end of third row, and it's all circle. You might be wondering why it's circle if it's a granny square. So from in our next row we are going to start giving it a square shape. Okay, so far it looks like it's not like usual granny square. It looks like a round shape. Okay, so in the next row we are going to give it a square shape because it's a granny square, isn't it? So our granny square should look like a square because in the name it says clearly squares. So this is the row you're going to do now. Until this row, third row, it looks like a granny. It looks like just like a round shape. So now from the next row we are going to try and make it a granny square. In this round shape that we have just created, you can use it as a face scrub too. You can make face scrub using these techniques. Yes, and this is like I've used acrylic color, acrylic yarn, and so it's very soft and smooth. So let's start our next row now. This was our third row. In our first row we have done only double crochet, 16 of this, and then in the second row we have only done puffed stitch have 16 puff stitch, and in our third row we have done 16 cluster stitch. Now in this very next row we are going to this is going to be our final row, last row for the granny square, and here we are going to give it this granny square shape. So just start from anywhere, and I'm just going to wave my end before I move to the next row. Okay, now just start from any corner, any space you like. In between the clusters there's a space, chain one space. Just start from any of this chain one space, put your crochet hook through and pull up this loop. Okay, then just tie your work. Now put your crochet hook through again and start crocheting 4 chain space. To crochet the chain space, wrap your yarn around and pull through. Can you see, while I'm doing this, I'm also waving the uh, short end of my yarn strand. This way I don't have to do it later, so I'm just waving it in while I'm doing the chain spaces. This is my second chain space, so wrap the yarn around, pull through, third chain space, wrap the yarn around and pull through, fourth chain space. Okay, now here in this same chain space I'm going to crochet 2 treble crochet. Okay, to create the treble crochet, wrap your yarn around your crochet hook twice. Okay, and then go to that same chain space and pull up a loop. So there should be 4 loops in your crochet hook. Wrap the yarn around, pull through only first 2. There's still 2 loops left in your crochet hook. Wrap your yarn around, pull through the next 2. Still 2 more left. Wrap the yarn around and pull through the very last 2 loops. So that's your treble crochet. Just have to do another treble crochet in the same chain space. So wrap the yarn around your crochet hook twice. Go to that same chain space and wrap the yarn around and pull up a loop. 4 loops in your crochet hook. Wrap the yarn around, pull through only first 2. Wrap the yarn around, pull through the next 2. Wrap the yarn around and pull through the last 2. So that's your treble crochet done. Okay, now we have to move to that next space, chain space here. Okay, now we are not doing any chains in between or anything, just doing these stitches. So I've done 4 chain space and 2 treble crochet. Now we are moving to the next chain space. Okay, and there we are going to create 3 double crochet. So wrap your yarn around your crochet hook, go to next chain space and pull up a loop. 3 loops in your crochet hook, wrap the yarn around, pull through first 2, wrap your yarn around and pull through the next 2. So that's your double crochet. First double crochet, we have to crochet 2 more double crochet in the same space. So wrap the yarn around, go to that same chain space and pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through first 2, wrap the yarn around, pull through next 2. Then wrap the yarn around your crochet hook, go to that same chain space and pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through first 2, wrap the yarn around, pull through next 2. So that's 3 double crochet done for this chain space. Now it's time to move to next chain space. Okay, in this chain space we are going to crochet 3 half double crochet. Okay, first we have done 3 treble crochet, 3 half double crochet, 3 double crochet. Now we are going to do 3 half double crochet in the next chain space. So wrap your yarn around your crochet hook, go to that next chain space and pull up a loop, 3 loops in your crochet hook, wrap the yarn around and pull through all 3 loops. That's your first half double crochet. Wrap the yarn around, go to next chain space, same chain space and pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around and pull through all 3. Second half double crochet, wrap the yarn around, go to that same chain space and pull up a loop, 3 loops in your crochet hook, wrap the yarn around and pull through all 3 loops. So that's your 3 half double crochet done. So now it's time to move to next chain space. Okay, here we are going to crochet 3 double crochet again. So wrap the yarn around your crochet hook, go to that chain space and pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through first 2, wrap the yarn around and pull through last 2 loops. Wrap the yarn around again, go to this chain space and pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through first 2, wrap the yarn around, pull through next 2. That's your 2 double crochet done. Wrap the yarn around, go to that same space and pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through first 2, wrap the yarn around, pull through next 2 loops. So that's your 3 double crochet done. Okay, now in the very next chain space we have to crochet 3 treble crochet. Here done our double crochet here, 3 double crochet here. In this one we have to crochet 3 treble crochet. So wrap the yarn around your crochet hook twice, go to that next chain space and pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through first 2, wrap the yarn around, pull through next 2, wrap the yarn around, pull through last 2 loops. So that's my first treble crochet. Okay, so we have to repeat these steps for 2 more times, 2 more treble crochet in this same chain space. So I've wrapped the yarn around my crochet hook 2 times. Now go to the same chain space and pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through first 2, wrap the yarn around, pull through next 2, wrap the yarn around and pull through last 2 loops. Now we have to do it one more time. I have wrapped the yarn around my crochet hook twice, go to that same chain space and pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through first 2, wrap the yarn around, pull through next 2, wrap the yarn around and pull through the last 2 loops. So that's my 3 treble crochet done. Now I have to chain 3. 1, wrap the yarn around and pull through 2, wrap the yarn around and pull through 3. So that's 3 chain space done. And in this same corner, in the same chain space, I have to create a corner because this is a square shape granny square I'm going to create. So here in the corners I have to crochet another set of 3 double crochet, 3 treble crochet. Okay, so this was my first treble crochet I've created here. Then I've done this 3 chain space here, I've done that here. Now it's time to do 3 more treble crochet in this same chain space. Okay, because so that it can take this corner shape, square corner shape. Okay, so wrap the yarn around your crochet hook twice, go to that same chain space and pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through first 2, wrap the yarn around, pull through next 2, wrap the yarn around and pull through the last 2 loops. So just repeat this space steps for a few more time. That's my second treble crochet, and this is my third treble crochet, and this was my first corner of my granny square. Okay, now let's move to the next stitch again, this one, and here I'm going to crochet 3 double crochet. So wrap the yarn around, pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through 2, wrap the yarn around and pull through the last 2, wrap the yarn around, go to the same chain space and pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through first 2, wrap the yarn around, pull through last 2 loops, wrap the yarn around again, go to that same chain space and pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through first 2, wrap the yarn around and pull through last 2. So that's my 3 double crochet done for this chain space. Okay, now it's time to move to the next chain space. Okay, there I'm going to crochet 3 half double crochet. So wrap the yarn around your crochet hook, go to that same chain space, pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around and pull through all 3 loops, wrap the yarn around, go to that same chain space and pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through all 3 loops. That's your second half double crochet. Wrap the yarn around, go to that same chain space and pull up a loop, and wrap the yarn around and pull through all 3 loops. So that's your 3 half double crochet done. Okay, now same like this side, we're going to crochet another set of 3 double crochet in the next chain space. So let's move to this next chain space and do 3 double crochet, wrap the yarn around, go to that next chain space, pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through first 2, wrap the yarn around, pull through last 2. That was my first double crochet. I have to repeat these steps for 2 more times. Okay, so that's my second double crochet, and this is my third double crochet. Okay, now it's time to do another set of corner, right? So wrap the yarn around your crochet hook. In the corners we have to do treble crochet. So wrap the yarn around your crochet hook twice and then move to that next chain space, corner space, and create your 3 set of treble crochet. Okay, so I've done my treble crochet. Now because it's a corner, so I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. So that's my 3 chain space, and now I have to crochet 3 more treble crochet in this same corner space. Okay, so wrap your yarn around your crochet hook twice, go to that same chain space and pull up a loop, wrap the yarn around, pull through first 2, wrap the yarn around, pull through next 2, wrap the yarn around and pull through last 2 loops. So just repeat these steps for 2 more times. 2 more treble crochet in this same chain space. So I've crocheted 3 treble crochet, and this was my second corner. So just have to repeat what we have done in this side. We've just repeated the same in this side. Yes, so we started with 3 double crochet, 3 treble crochet, 3 chain space, 3 treble crochet in the same chain space, which was a corner. Yes, and then we followed by 3 double crochet in the next chain space, 3 half double crochet in the next chain space, 3 double crochet in the next chain space again, and then in the corner again 3 treble crochet, 3 chain space, 3 treble crochet. So we have done 2 sides, 2 corners. Now we just have to go ahead and repeat these steps for 2 more times to do the last 2 corners. Okay, so let's do it. We have done 3 double crochet, we have done the corners. Now it's time to do 3 double crochet. Okay, in the next chain we are doing 3 half double crochet only. In the next chain space again 2 double crochet. So come to the end of this row, and here just have to I've done these corners, then 3 double crochet, 3 half double crochet, 3 double crochet, and in this very last chain space where we started our project with 3 treble crochet, actually 3 chain spaces and 2 double crochet, here in this same corner it was an unfinished corner. We didn't finish our corner here, so here I'm going to crochet 3 double crochet. So it was my 3 treble crochet done. Now I have to do 3 chains, 1, 2 and 3, and now I'm just going to attach this 3 chain with the 4th chain space from these first 4 chain spaces that we have created to start our row. So that's 1, 2, 3, and this is the 4th chain space where we are going to go now and do a slip stitch to attach all this corner. Okay, now I'm just going to do a chain 1 to secure my work and cut the yarn strand. So that's it, your Starburst granny square is ready. Just going to weave in this loose end. This is how it should look like, the finished project. Yes. So now it's a good idea to make lots of granny square, Starburst granny square, colorful ones, and then attach them together to make blankets. This will look very beautiful. Or you can just attach them, make cardigans or a scarf or all sorts of different items. So I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. Today we learned to make this gorgeous granny Starburst granny square. I hope you all enjoyed making this with me, and I will see you all next week. Till then, you all take care. Bye for now.